Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Tournament Talk. We are looking at Necromantic tournament rosters today. We're going through all the teams that have been spawned in the Blood Bowl 2020 rulebook. We're looking at some of the tournament builds you can put together. Every Blood Bowl tournament is different. So we are looking at 1100, so 1.1 million, and 1200, 1.2 million builds. The idea for that is, depending on what tournament you're going for, you kind of have a good idea of a list that you can then add to or take away from that suits you. And realistically, we've brewed these up to give you an idea of some of the rosters you could be facing, as well as some of the rosters you could take. As we've said, tournaments are all different, so the skill packages you'll be allowed will be very varied. Necro are a tier 2 team, so not sure what skills you're going to take, so we're picking some of the most important ones for your build, just to give you an idea of what realistically is the most important thing for your team. Anyway, let's go have a look at some Necromantic tournament rosters. So Necromantic is a team made up of really expensive and very important positionals. Each one of your positionals plays a role in the team. So you've got the Golems, who are there to be strength 4, stand firm. So they're going to be on the line destroying stuff. You've got Werewolves, who are movement 8, strength 3, frenzy and claws. They're your blitzers, they're your ball carriers. They are the superstars of the team, to be fair. You've got Wraiths, who are a new player type, but they are your only beginner block app. They don't have hands, they do have sidestep. It's a very interesting player type. They're important to provide that integral block to your team. The Ghouls are primarily your ball carriers. They're movement 7, their dodge, their strength 3, their agility 3+. Those and the Werewolves are really the best ball carrying players on the team. You've got Zombies, they're Ag 4+, they are chaff, they are there just to take punches, to tie up big guys and to foul when you've got spare ones. So this roster, you can get 2 Golems, 2 Werewolves, 2 Wraiths, 2 Ghouls and 3 Zombies at the cost of your 3rd reroll. Now, depending on your tournament package, you may be able to get a single double skill, and we just need 1 double to make this work, because you put leader on one of your Ghouls, you're up to 3, and the reason you're going to be relying on that 3rd reroll is you've got very few integral skills on this team. So the Ghouls or the Werewolves, whoever you're picking up the balls with, very unlikely to have sure hands even with your skill package. So those rerolls for ball handling are going to be really important. Talking of skills. So Golems, they're strength 4, they're going to be on the line. Block or guard, doesn't matter which way. Guard works at making the players around them better and also helps protect them if they're working in tandem. Block is just going to make them more consistent. There is no bad choice, it just depends how you want to build the rest of your team. Werewolves. It's the same as any kind of move 8 strength 3 player. If you give them block, they become brilliant blitzers. Movement 8 frenzy claws block, very tasty. If you give them dodge, they become fantastic catchers and runners. Movement 8 agility 3+ with dodge makes them a very effective either way. So it's up to you and how you build your team. The Wraiths are a new player type. I've got 2 plans with these guys. You can give them tackle because they have sidestep and block, and their movement 6. They are going to be able to perform the role of really good safety in the backfield. If you get on a catcher or someone deep in your half, or anybody you don't want to move, if they try and block you out, you just sidestep right there. If they try and dodge, you've got tackle. These guys have got block. It's going to make them really frustrating. Alternatively, you can use that sidestep, buff them with guard, and then they can just be great supports to your Werewolves or your Golems, and that sidestep is just going to be able to keep that guard exactly where you want it. They really are going to play the role of a facilitator within your team. That's why they're quite important, not just because they come with free block, but because that sidestep and their stats mean they're just going to be able to help make your other players better. I recommend guard on those, block or dodge on the Werewolves, block on the Golems if you're going with guard on the Wraiths. Ghouls, block for a ball carrying Ghoul, leader here in this build to get your 3rd reroll. Zombies, if you can, swing a spare normal skill, kick. Dirty Player is also really good for Zombies. Don't recommend Dirty Player in this roster as it's 11 players. All but 2 of them have Regenerate, so you shouldn't suffer numbers. If your leader Ghoul goes down, you are going to have a pretty tough time in the second half. The positives of this roster is that you get everything for 1100, and all the bits and bobs are going to work together. The downside is you've got 8 players that really need a skill to make them pop. Alternatively, what you can do is you can drop a Ghoul, pick up that third reroll, and backfill with a zombie. So that gives you 2 Ghouls, 2 Werewolves, 2 Wraiths, 1 Ghoul, and 4 zombies with 3 rerolls. It might help you with the skill package, but you are replacing a movement 6, agility 3+ dodge piece with a zombie who is movement 4, agility 4+. No dodge. So it will hurt your team a little bit, but it will free up a skill for you to put somewhere else. Now, we've got a Ghoul. Ghouls are 95k, Wraiths are 75, Werewolves are 125, and Golems are 115. So you can drop a Golem or a Werewolf and pick up a Ghoul for your number 2 Ghoul. You can't drop a Wraith and pick up a Ghoul, I don't think. It doesn't give you enough cash. So it's a tough one. You want Ghouls, but the Werewolves are just fine. But at 1200, this is where this team really starts coming together, because you get everything you want. Okay, 2 Golems, 2 Werewolves, 2 Wraiths, 2 Ghouls, 4 zombies, so you've got a bench of 12, and 3 rerolls for 1190. So you even get 10k left over to buy an assistant coach. They're just absolutely spoiling you here. It's quite funny. We looked at Necromantic starting rosters for League, and we're kind of like, oh, there's 7 choices, and they're all a bit bad. Right here, there is one choice. It is this roster. There may be some maneuvering there. You could drop a reroll, use a leader, and pick up a couple of extra zombies, really to smash, your bench together. I'm not sold. I think 12 players, given that 10 of them have regenerate, is going to mean that this team can do exactly what you want, and you don't have to use a skill for leader to get that reroll. Tier 2 teams, you're normally looking at about 6 skills, maybe 5 and a double. That's guard, that's block on your big guys, that's block on those werewolves. That's going to help unlock those players to do the powerful things that you want them to do. So this team suffers from a lack of star players at the moment. Spike 11 is going to drop. It's going to drop real soon, hopefully. Okay, the boxed game is coming out in November, so it's entirely possible that the Spike drops with it or a couple of weeks later. So November into December, we should see the new Spike. That Spike says Old Stars Return, and it's got basically a picture of Frankenstein and I think Wilhelm Chaney. So we are going to see more star players for Necromantic, which is going to mean we're going to see more builds. But for now, we've got 2 star players that I recommend putting in this roster. That's not fair. I've got no star players I recommend putting in the roster, but I do have 2 star players that you can fit in a roster that it's quite entertaining. So when we did scroll the star player spotlight, I got really excited and was like, guys, you can use Scroll to just bomb it down the pitch with a throw and everything. And this is the roster with which you can do so. So Scroll time, 1175, so leaving you 25k. We'll come back to that in a sec. 2 Golems, 2 Werewolves, 2 Wraiths, 1 Ghoul, 4 Zombies, 2 rerolls. So remember that thing we talked about with Leader? Going to need to do it here to get Leader, to get reroll 3, and you get Scroll half height. The reason the Wraiths and the Ghoul have a little asterisk by them is because of the cash. You've got 25k left over. You can buff up a Wraith at 75k to a Ghoul at 95. It depends on what you want to build. There's 2 angles to this. Scroll half height has got some wicked passing potential. Once per game at least anyway. He gets added strength to his pass roll. So you bomb it up there with 2 Werewolves. You've got a Ghoul as reserve and you pass it. And basically, what he's passing 4+ normally. He's got accurate, so that's 3+, so 3, 4, 5, 6. So deep pass, long bomb on a 3+, long pass on a 2+, and he's got pass. So you can once per game just flood the backfield and just pass that ball. It's going to be wicked. That's why the Wraith and the Ghoul are asterisked. You can drop a Wraith and pick up a second Ghoul. That gives you 4 receivers. Realistically, though, you've got 2 Werewolves, you've got 1 Ghoul who can be the ball carrier, and Scroll with his 4+ agility and sure hands does make him a reasonable ball carrier as well. This team gives you 11-12 players. You can still do Necromantic stuff. It is a little bit underpowered, but if you think about it, all you're doing is dropping a Ghoul and replacing it with Scroll Half-Height, who is an undead skeleton dwarf. If you're going with an undead Necromantic theme, surely that's good. But one thing the Necromantic team does not have is a throw teammate option, and Grack and Crumbleberry have just dropped that in every team's lap. I wholeheartedly do not recommend this roster, but it looks so fun. Okay, you get 1 Golem, 2 Werewolves because Werewolves are amazing, 2 Wraiths because block is good, 1 Ghoul because you need 1 Ghoul, 5 Zombies to wrap out your team. Wrap out? Round up? I don't know. I can't see wrapping zombies. Michael Jackson may have done. Right, 2 rerolls. Third one picking up with the Ghoul using Leader. Ghoul is the only one that can take Leader on a double with the exception of the Werewolves. And quite frankly, those Werewolves need block. Dodge if you wanna. Oh, by the way, you get an Ogre and a Halfling with Sure Hands. So you go from 11 players to 13. One of them is Strength 5. So you're 1200. You've had to drop a Golem. But you've boosted that Golem up to be an Ogre. And an Ogre comes with a Halfling as well. So you've kind of increased your ball carrying ability. You've increased your kill and stuff ability. You've got a 1-turn touchdown option. And it's just cool. I don't know if it is the right build. But I can definitely see someone having fun with this. Golem, Werewolves, Asterisk. The reason for that is because the Werewolf is 125k. You can downgrade it to a Golem if you want to go for 2 Strength 4, 1 Strength 5. That does mean you've only got a Werewolf and a Ghoul as your ball carriers, along with Crumbleberry. That's a little light. I love the Werewolves. I think they're really dynamic. And I think a Golem with 2 Wraiths is still going to make a pretty reasonable front line when you've got 5 zombies there to support. Block, guard, same skills apply, but it's just an interesting build. You can have a Necromantic team with an Ogre and a Halfling, and you can go for the 1-turn touchdown with Necro. With a check down, like your fail case here is, I'm going to have to score with my 2 Werewolves. These guys are tier 2. I'm scared of Necromantic, and it's not just because of the sheets. It's quite cool. There's a lot of variety here, and I think when we see Wilhelm Chaney turn up and Frankenstein, we're going to see some really cool rosters. Triple Golem roster. Boom. Anyway, that wraps it up for the Necromantic tournament rosters. As ever, guys, leave a comment letting me know what rosters you like, which ones I've missed, because there is a lot of mathing to do, and what you think Necromantic are going to be like in tournaments in Blood Bowl 2020. And we'll see you tomorrow for some more tournament rosters. Bye-bye.